The big thing was the jump between that and losing Biba. And by then, I mean, we were just shattered with fighting them. And what happened was that our partners were fabulous, old-fashioned retailers who had like 30 shops, underwear shops, and we were very happy with them, and they understood what we were doing and how the money was coming, etc. And the developer, you have to be very careful of this because he'll come and kill us all, but they had a new director who did property. And when he found out, and he watched us to see how we started working on it, when we got the building, and then the minute it was finished, he grabbed it. He sold it off to Marks and Spencer's, the first 2 floors. So it was just so painful, you know. It went on for like 2-3 years, and then we lost it. And he also damaged our original partners too. They were so wonderful. They rang me up and they said, we want to see you, have lunch with you, sort of like a year after we left. And they said, we want to tell you what they did to us too. So they killed them as well. So, and that's when because it's funny this, because I was trying to find out why. And I've been reading a lot of the YouTube things, the films, why everybody was going to Brazil at that period. Because all the Nazis were going to Brazil. And Argentina, in fact. It was Argentina, and then they sort of spilled out to Brazil. But Brazil was offering an awful lot for export, and they had production, big production, huge. And by then I was working with Fiorucci and Casserelle, and so we set up a production thing there. It was lovely, but it was a nightmare because when you mustn't go and live in places where you don't speak the language. It's terribly difficult. Oh God! And you never learn it because they all have accents, and the women were so jealous of everything. It was awful, terrible. But we used to go to Paris a lot, and we would do the, production from there. And then one day, one of the Brazilian girls comes. We had a lot of girls working for us, and she says, I hate to tell you, but all these cactuses that are very long and thin are all like this. They've all turned over like this. So we had a lot, right? I didn't realize what they were for. Those were for keeping the devil out and devil worship. So we rushed back, and the whole thing is down, like facing like in both houses. And then she said, I'm going to bring in somebody, a priest, a white priest. And it was terrible because they were working against us. And I know it sounds idiotic. Well, I couldn't believe it. I mean, I'm a Catholic. What are they doing? And it was like, we had terrible time. Even in the house at home. Our girl that was bringing in the coffee in the morning, and we were told to do a certain thing with all our windows. And she walks in and she sees it and she drops the coffee and runs. Then we decide to leave to go back to London, and we had a house off Portobello Road. And we go in the garden, and there this is London, on a post like this, there's a skull of a goat skull. And I was just like, because they said to us, it will follow you. I mean, they're very strong. They work on you all the time. I mean, this is serious stuff in Brazil. And we ring up our priest and the local and they have priests coming round to us like us. That really worried me.
No wonder you have so many crosses around.
What?
No wonder you have so many crosses around.